I also just want to say one quick thing about this invitation to the president and board of NABJ. Y'all got played. Donald Trump showed up at the convention for exactly 3 reasons. 1, to try to dispel the notion that he's scared to debate a black woman, a presumption one can draw from his refusal to commit to debating VP Harris, who, again, for those in the back, is a black and Asian woman. It's also why he lost it like a grumbly senior at the retirement home who didn't get his Jell-O dessert when ABC's Rachel Scott challenged him to answer basic questions. And how likely is it that he would have shown up at all if the lady from the network that paid a $787 million legal settlement for spreading the big lie wasn't included on the panel? Second, to steal the attention that Vice President Kamala Harris has hijacked from him because she's just more interesting and her support is more joyous and rooted in popular American culture. And 3, to create clips to play for his very white, very right-wing MAGA fan base of him standing up to the blacks. Joining me now is April Ryan, White House correspondent for The Griot and an MSNBC contributor. April, deep breaths. I watched that today in absolute horror. You were one of the people who spoke out against this invitation. Talk to me about how in the world it happened in the first place.
Well, first of all, the NABJ, an advocacy group for Black journalists, the Black press, extends invitations every election cycle to the presidential candidates. But for this cycle, this special and unique cycle, Donald Trump was invited. But we know the story, and this is where I'm going to put the butt in. We know the story. We've seen the movie. We spit the popcorn out and all of that. We know who he is to the Black press, how he has berated us, how his minions have berated us, from himself to Tucker Carlson, who have come after me, Yamiche Alcindor, and you, Joy. And so many others, like Sonny Hostin from The View, Donna Brazile, Abby Phillips, so many, Don Lemon. And understanding this, and you're an advocacy group for the press, why would you invite someone that in 2018 you said you were appalled at his actions and used our pictures to say that so you're not appalled? What was this for? Was this for showing clout? Was this really for journalism's sake?
All right, guys, so we got to talk about this epic video that's going viral on TikTok featuring this black woman who is going to go off on the fact that the so-called black journalist, aka the black propagandist, ambushed Trump at the black journalist conference in Chicago, and because Kamala Harris did not show up. Okay, so she's going off on Kamala for not showing up, and the so-called black journalist for trying to ambush Trump during this interview. And the reason why I'm sharing this video is because, one, it is an epic rant, right? It should be shared. But also because the media is trying to create a narrative that all black people are offended and appalled by what Trump said during that conference. And it's like, no, a lot of black people are not offended because a lot of black people have the same questions about Kamala Harris. Okay, that's the quiet part that the liberal media doesn't want to admit. And, you know, there are a lot of black people in the media, Republican and conservative, that are too cowardly to come out and also say the same thing, which is that, yeah, a lot of black people ain't rocking with Kamala like that as a so-called black woman. But again, they're too afraid. Okay, so with that being said, I think that it's appropriate to provide a voice that I think actually does represent what a lot of people believe about Kamala Harris in the black community, and how a lot of black people saw what happened at that conference between Trump and the black propaganda. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Listen, before I start this interview, I'm going to ask y'all to, forgive my language in advance, because I'm going to say some stuff on here that I don't usually say on my videos. So those of y'all who have sensitive ears, keep swiping. Let this be one of my videos that you swipe on by, because listen, playtime is over and the gloves are off. Now listen, first I want to say thank you to my Chi-Town sister who, let me know that Trump was going to be in Chicago during the interview. Now let me say this. This was the most disrespectful interview I think I've ever seen. First of all, Trump knew when he went to this interview that he was going in the lion's den. Kudos kudos, Trump, to you going to this, because this was some straight up bullshit. This girl was so disrespectful. It's ridiculous. The whole fucking panel was disrespectful, but it was so disrespectful, it was ridiculous. First of all, Kamala Harris didn't even show up. Kamala Harris didn't even show up because she don't feel like she needs to show up, because she already knows she got the black votes lined up in Chicago, and she don't have no respect for the black people. And let's not forget, she chicken shit. She complete chicken shit, because she been saying she wanted to debate Trump, and this would have been the best time for her to be on stage with Trump and say whatever she wanted to say to him. But of course, she didn't even show up. The doggone interviewers, they were 35 minutes late because they had no respect for Trump either.
Yeah, so I just want to say, again, she's making some very salient points here, right? The point about Kamala not showing up, again, tells you everything you need to know about this narrative from the media that Kamala's so strong. Kamala said, anytime, any place, I'm ready to debate Trump. She's trying to take the position as the person that Trump is running away from. But when she had an opportunity to actually be in the same building as Trump, to get on the same stage as Trump, to have Trump say it to her face, which is what she asked for, she declined. Now, I don't want to hear nothing about she was at some sorority event. No. Kamala Harris is running for President of the United States. If she can't show up to a venue where her political opponent is, after challenging him to a debate, by the way, and being on stage where she's going to have everything in her advantage, the whole building is black. Everybody on stage is black except Trump. Everything's to her advantage, and she still declined. You would think that Kamala Harris would have took that opportunity to be in Chicago to prosecute Trump, which is what she's campaigning on. Well, she could have done that, but she chose not to, right? Why did she choose not to do it? Even in an environment that would have been extremely friendly towards her? Well, it's because she's afraid, right? Everybody knows that.
But Trump, kudos to you for going into this bull crap. Now, this interview didn't even start the interview off by saying hello, President Trump, or hello, former President Trump, or hello, Trump. She didn't even speak to him. She just went straight into the text. And let me tell y'all something. I don't like Kamala Harris at all. Period. Y'all know I don't like Kamala Harris. But she is the VP of the United States of America. And if I had a conversation with her, if I had an interview with her, the first thing I would do before I even started any question would say, hello, VP Harris, how you doing? That's the least respect you can give to anybody. But these disrespectful tricks, they have any respect for Trump. All they did was come out with a text from the beginning. From the fucking beginning, that's all they came out with. Now, this dumbass trick gonna have the nerve to say to Trump, tell me why should black people support you? With your rhetoric and all this and all that, and why should black people support you? You lied about Obama, you lied about Nikki Haley, and that, let me tell y'all something. That's what a lot of the black community mad at Trump about, because Trump questioned Obama citizenship in the United States of America, and you cannot question King Obama, because black folks will have a fit. That's what a lot of them are upset with Trump about. Because you can't question their God. And a lot of black people, their God is Obama. Y'all get mad at me all y'all want. It is what it is. I said what I said, and I meant what the fuck I said. Yep, I said it. But let me tell y'all this right here. So she comes at Trump with all this old bullcrap. So, of course, Trump said, well, I've done a lot of stuff for the black community. He said the same thing he always said. I've done more for the black community than anybody except for Abraham Lincoln. Then this dumb, supposed to be educated ass trick had the audacity to say with her brainwashed, brain-dead, simple-minded ass, so you telling me you done more for the black community than Lyndon B. Johnson, who passed the Voter Rights Act? This has got to be the dumbest bitch I ever heard in my life, and I've heard a lot of them. But she's supposed to be so educated. First of all, let me tell y'all something, because I'm tired of blacks acting like Democrats, and Lyndon B. Johnson did so much for the goddamn black community. Lyndon B. Johnson didn't have a fucking choice but to sign off on the Voting Rights Act, because Republicans passed it. He was the president of the United States of America, and he didn't have a choice but to sign off on it. It's not like Lyndon B. Johnson and the Democrat Party did a goddamn thing for blacks out of the kindness of their heart. They did it because they didn't have a choice, because Republicans passed it. And I'm so sick of these goddamn dumbass black folks acting like Democrats love us. They ain't never cared nothing about us, and they still don't. But y'all keep falling for this goddamn trap they keep putting out there, thinking they care so much about you.
Hey, there's not a point that I can disagree with. I can't disagree with it. Especially, again, the whole Voting Rights Act thing, because Democrats seem to inconveniently try to forget history, right? They try to forget that Republicans actually paved the way for modern day civil rights. Like, for example, when you talk about the first Civil Rights Act, which is the Civil Rights Act of 1866, that was passed by Republicans overwhelmingly in Congress. However, it was vetoed by the Democrat president, Andrew Johnson, and the Republicans in Congress had to override the veto. And Republicans, for the most part, have been on board overwhelmingly with civil rights since the Civil War. And in fact, when you talk about women's rights, women's voting rights, that was spearheaded by Republicans as well, too. But again, Democrats have rewritten history. They brainwashed people into thinking that, oh, it's Democrats that have fought for people's civil rights and basic freedoms since the founding of this country. And that's just not true. Okay. For the most part, when you talk about civil rights, voting rights, all of these things, they were primarily supported by Republicans. But again, Democrats inconveniently leave that out. They try to change it and try to take credit and say that, every Republican before 1964 was actually a Democrat, right? This is what they do. And every Democrat was actually a Republican, except they never do that with FDR, right? They love claiming FDR, who, by the way, is responsible for redlining, okay? Because that's where redlining originated in the New Deal, okay, which is what a lot of these woke revolutionaries complain about in regards to systemic racism. And anytime these people talk about systemic racism, you can always trace it back to some Democrat policy, right? That's the hilarious part about how, black people just vote for Democrats no matter what, thinking that Democrats have been fighting for them throughout most of the history of the party, when that's just not true, right? That's just not true. It's just factually not true. And I'm glad some people actually understand this.
And yep, I said what I said and I meant what I said. But then, shit goes on to ask, so you call, Republicans and y'all said Kamala Harris is a DEI hire. Do you think she's a DEI hire? Fuck yes, she's a DEI hire. She's a DEI hire. She was hired because she was a woman and because she was a woman of color. And she started calling herself black. Then this interview gonna tell me, well, she always called herself black. You telling a fucking lie, because Kamala Harris called herself whatever she need to call herself to get whatever vote she need to get. I'm waiting on her to say that she's a trans woman, because now she's trying to get votes on the trans community. Kamala Harris has been an enemy woman when she was running up there in fucking California. She became a black woman when she was running for VP, and she needed the black votes. And like I said, I'm waiting on her to say she's a trans woman, because now she's trying to get votes from the trans community. So don't sit up here and act like Kamala Harris don't switch with the wind because she kept. This was the worst interview ever. And Trump, I give kudos to you for even going into this bullshit, because I wouldn't have went nowhere near. I wouldn't have went nowhere near, period. But let me tell y'all something. If y'all sitting up here thinking just because the person is black or just because the person is a woman that they got to jump in line with the Democratic Party or they got to vote for Kamala Harris, kiss the crack of my ass, because I am a black woman and I'm not voting for either. I'm not voting for Kamala Harris and I'm not voting for the Democratic Party, and it is what the fuck it is.
Yo, that might have been one of the most epic rants I've ever heard. Wow. I can't disagree with anything that she said. I can't disagree at all. Can any of you guys disagree with what she said? If anybody got any disagreements, please let me know in the comment section, because I didn't find anything that she said to be incorrect, right? I think this woman knows exactly what she's talking about. She knows exactly what happened. And again, don't let the media fool you, right? They're trying to tell you that, oh, Trump turned off millions of black voters. Not true. Okay. Again, a vast majority of those people respect what Trump did. A lot of black people definitely respect what he did. And if anything, I think Trump's support has went up. Okay. I really do. I think a lot more people are supporting Trump because of that. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.